Okay, let's talk about one of the most frustrating parts of learning English, asking questions. But I want you to just forget all those complicated grammar rules for a minute, because today we're going to treat it like a simple puzzle, with pieces that just click right into place.
You know that feeling, right? Where you have all the right words, but getting them in the perfect order just gives you a massive headache. It honestly feels like you're trying to crack some impossible secret code, and that little bit of confusion can totally kill the flow of a good conversation.
Well, what if I told you there is no secret code? It's not a mystery, it's just a puzzle. And the best part is, like any good puzzle, the pieces are designed to fit together in a really simple, logical way, every single time.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at your very first puzzle pieces. Then we're going to add some detective pieces to get more details. After that, we'll check out a whole different puzzle set for actions. And finally, we'll figure out how to choose the right puzzle for any question you can think of.
All right, let's jump right in. We're starting with the absolute foundation, the bedrock of so many English questions, the verb be. I want you to think of is, am, and are as your first, most essential puzzle pieces. These are the ones you're going to use for basic questions where the answer is usually just a simple yes or no.
Let's actually build one together right now. First, let's reach into our puzzle box and grab a B piece. How about are? Got it? Cool. Next, we need our subject piece, the who of the question. We'll snap the you piece right there next to it. And finally, for the detail, let's click in the married piece. And just like that, you get, are you married? A perfect question from 3 simple pieces. See how they just fit? And here's the cool part. The answer is its own little mini puzzle too. And it follows an even easier pattern. You start with a yes or no piece, you pop in the subject, in this case I, and you finish it with a matching be verb piece, am. Boom, puzzle solved.
Okay, you ready to level up? We've totally nailed the basic yes-no puzzle. But sometimes yes or no just isn't enough information, right? So now we're going to add some really special pieces to our collection that let us dig for way more specific details.
So let's start with a puzzle we already know how to solve. Are they from Spain? Simple 3-piece question. We got this. But what if we don't want to know if they're from Spain? We want to know where they're from.
Well, for that job, we need our detective pieces. These are your secret weapons. Words like what, where, who, when, and why. Think of them like keys. Where unlocks a place, who unlocks a person, why unlocks a reason. You just pick the right tool for the mystery you're trying to solve. And check out how easy this is. You just take your detective piece, let's use where, and you snap it right on the front of the puzzle we already built. That's it. And instantly, the whole question changes. We've gone from a simple yes-no question to a question that demands real information.
All right, so we've covered questions about, well, how things are. But what about all the things people do? You know, actions like work, or play, or listen to music. For those, we need to open a different box of puzzle pieces.
Now, this is super important. If your question is about an action, a verb like live or speak, your B puzzle pieces just won't fit. It's like trying to use the wrong key for a lock. Action verbs need a special helper piece to turn them into a question, and those helpers are do and does.
And look at that. It's another simple 3-piece pattern. You start with your helper piece, like do. Then you connect your subject piece, you. And then, and this is a key tip, you add the main action verb in its original simplest form. No ing, no s, just watch. Click them all together, and you get a perfect action question. Do you watch TV?
And you know what's coming, right? Our trusty detective pieces work here too. It's the same exact trick. You take the puzzle we just built, do you watch TV? And you just snap a detective piece like, what? Right on the front. Bam! What do you watch? It really is that easy.
Okay, this is it. The final level. This is where it all clicks together. So we've got our B puzzle set, and we've got our do-does action puzzle set. But how do you know which box to open when you need to ask a question?
And here is the secret. It really all comes down to one simple idea. Is the action happening right now? Or is it something that happens always, like a habit or a fact? If it's happening now, you grab the B puzzle pieces. For example, to ask about she is speaking, you ask, is she speaking? But if it's a routine or a fact, like she speaks English, you grab the do/does puzzle. You'd ask, does she speak English? See the difference? It's all about the timing.
So when you really boil it all down, asking almost any question in English comes down to just these 3 core patterns. That is it. Pattern 1, the B puzzle. Pattern 2, the do/does action puzzle. And Pattern 3, just adding one of our WH detective pieces to the front of either of the first two. Once you know these 3 patterns, you can build hundreds and hundreds of questions.
So there you have it. The mystery is solved. The puzzle is officially in your hands now. You've got all the pieces, you know all the patterns, and you are ready to start building clear, confident questions whenever you want.
So I guess the only real question left is, what are you going to ask first? Go ahead, start building.